we're focusing a huge amount of effort on developing out our other divisions for, all these reasons, for sure.
Yeah.
So Blaine, I'm glad that you brought up the Neogen product. That is a product. It's a handheld machine that does, the testing, right, the potency testing right in the field, or if you're inside in an indoor grow, and it can be really, really helpful. That's a pretty amazing machine.
Welcome to the iHemp Hour. My name is Dave Craybill. I'm with iHemp Michigan. iHemp Michigan's mission is to educate, inform, and promote the research, development, and cultivation of industrial hemp here in Michigan. iHemp Michigan advocates for wellness in people and the planet through hemp, and it begins with the farmer. Please support our advocacy and join iHemp Michigan. Business members receive a listing in our business directory, which is actively searched by thousands of visitors. We have a special guest on today, Jeff Colin. We're going to come to him in just a minute. Welcome, Jeff. Blaine, you have a little bit of news to update us with first?
No, I got a little bit of news, Dave. And we want to thank, first thing I want to do is I want to thank our sponsors. And I think most of you can see that behind me here. Let me kind of move out of the way. We want to thank Lakeland Hemp, and big news on that. It'll stop right there a little bit. So October the 16th, that is a Saturday. We are going to have our October hemp event. It's going to start at Michael Tui's place in Traverse City, and we will get all that information out. We're going to start that about 10 o'clock in the morning. Have a nice little visit there. Michael will kind of go over some of the things that they do there and how he provides help to some of his clients and patients. And then we're going to take a little tour, not very far, about a half-hour drive up to Lakeland Hemp. We're going to have what we call growlers in the grow.
Growlers in the grow.
Growlers in the grow, yeah. Shorts.
You're so creative.
We got to make it fun. Shorts Brewing Company is right there, about 5 minutes from their place where they grow at, and so we're going to get some of their beverages and maybe do some cooking out and just have a fun time getting together and chatting. And again, one of our great networking events. It'll be very pretty. The colors should be just about peak at that time. So we hope everybody will join us for that. A free event. We'll get some more information out. Maybe we'll try to get a hotel where people might be staying, but that's Saturday, the 16th. In Traverse City is where we're going to be meeting for that. So that's Lakeland Hemp. And then we got Veritas Labs, who's been a very big sponsor for us. We appreciate their help. If you need testing done, there's one place certainly you can contact them for that. We have Adams Independent Testing as well. We have Scott Colville, Crop Insurance. If any of you are thinking about growing again next year, might want to talk to Scott about being able to get some insurance to cover any risk you might have with that. iHemp Manufacturing, of course, the Hemperor brand products that'll be coming out. That's the oil and some bedding supplies for that. Neogen. We'll talk about Neogen in a minute because we've got a little bit of information that was given last week about the testing that's going on. And then we have US Hemp Wholesale made by Hemp. That's right there in Granville, Jenison, Michigan. And of course, in the very middle, you see it. Right there is our important
US Hemp Brokerage.
US Hemp Brokerage right there.
Yeah,
we're going to get you a bigger one there,
yeah.
Jeff.
That one's kind of washed out too there. Yeah, really great lighting.
We'll fix that. It's that was a scramble,
I know. I'm happy. I'm happy to even have that. Thank you.
We got that.
So we want to appreciate all those sponsors that help make the iHemp Hour possible, and also help support the cause that we're doing here in Michigan. There's nobody else, folks, that is working any harder to bring the industry here and keep everybody informed on what's going on. Now, the big thing that's going to happen, of course, in January is going to be the expo. That's going to be at the Lansing Center, January 21st, 22nd. That's a Friday, Saturday. The Thursday, the 20th, we're hosting a meeting with Food Chain ID and U.S. Hemp Authority on the certification process in order to get your certification seal. That's going to be coming, folks. So you might as well just get on the bandwagon now and get it going.
I'll do it right.
Somehow this is going to be a food safety issue because we are ingesting CBD products one way or the other into our body. Either we're taking it in as drops, we're taking it as some kind of food or gummies, There's also smokable hemp, so it's entering our body one way or the other, and food safety is an important topic. So we're happy that we can provide that. There will be a little cost involved for that, but trust me, it'll be well worth the time and energy and money to pay for that to come and get going down that road. So that's on the 20th, and then of course 21st and 22nd will be that. Now the Friday night, the 21st, will be the second annual Hempies Award, and this one will be really fun because we will be having a dinner, some entertainment, and then of course the ever coveted Hempy Awards that you'll be able to take home for your winner for that. We have the information up on the website. It's $50 per item you're going to enter in per category. But it's on the website now, and you can start entering for that. And the early bird specials end on September 30th. That's for either the passes and or for your expo booth. So jump on that. Part of the fun. It's going to be a great time. We're looking forward to that again this year.
For sure.
So let's give a little facts that we got last week that Molly shared with us. So the numbers she gave us, we asked her about what the numbers were. She said this year for 2021, we had 166 growers that have been registered. We have 292 processors that are registered. We have, 1,301,779. I guess we could round that up to 780. Indoor square foot, that equals 30 acres of indoor grow, industrial hemp grow. Outdoor, we have 2,830 acres this year. So that's our numbers for this year. Now, also, by last week when we talked to them, they had done 50 tests already. Out of those 50 tests, 4 of them went hot. One of the varieties was a fiber variety. So it'd be very interesting. I sent an email to Craig, but he hasn't responded yet about if he can share that information yet. Certainly he'll have that information at the expo for sure. But we'll get that information posted just as soon as we get that information. So talking about going hot, that's why I want to talk about Neogen. Neogen Corporation has come out with a great test. Inexpensive, about $16 a test after you buy the initial equipment, to be able to test your product throughout the growing season to make sure it doesn't go hot. You spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort on that, and you hate to get to the end of that and then have to destroy that crop. So this is a great way, again, an inexpensive way for you to test that crop throughout the year. Don't have to send it out. It takes about total time takes maybe about 4 or 5 hours, but the test itself, once you get the prep done, only takes about 15 minutes, and you know where you're sitting and you can monitor that. So you don't have that problem of going hot and going over. So a good inexpensive way. So Neogen Corporation has that information, and we have that available on the Down on the Farm website as well. And we can help take care of that for you. Let's see. So there's a whole list of things that I want to make everybody aware of for the grower compliance when you have the inspections. And if you look at an email that came out on August 2nd, now everybody should have already signed up and on the MDART website to get these. If you haven't, it's real simple. Just put in MDART, go to the hemp program and sign up for the emails they get there. But there's information you need to have available also when that inspection gets done. You need some sales records and some other things you might have, record keeping the variety. Also, you need to, and you should have already done your crop reporting at FSA. Now, it's really important for that to be done. And hopefully you've done that, because now there'll be a little bit of a late charge. But those figures, when USDA can release those figures later this fall, that's going to give us a real accurate count on what's going on out there. You know, before we've got these tests from the state, and so many people said they're going to plant and all that stuff, and how many acres got harvested. But this will at least give us the acres that are planted or intended to be planted. And so you don't know about harvest, of course, but how many acres are planted. So give us some real numbers to be able to use in the industry. Yeah, an exciting thing that came out this week a little bit was the Association of American Feed Control Officials, AAFCO, the independent organization that provides ingredient definitions, label standards, and regular laboratory guidance for federal, state, and international feed regulators, has issued a position paper and called for action on hemp and its byproducts in livestock feed and companion animal pet food. They want to encourage the hemp and feed industry to continue the research and proposed hemp and hemp byproducts as nutritional ingredients to gather data on the product safety and efficacy. The products to be evaluated would include whole hemp plants, hemp seed oil, CBD, and other cannabinoids, as well, of course, as the grain for that. So nice that they came out with a little letter of support. We need to get things rolling along. Then I know US Hemp Feed Coalition is doing some studies for poultry for sure. And again, Hunter Buffington, I think, is going to come to the expo, and she's going to be able to give us an update on that. Once we're able to use this in livestock feed, that's going to change the dramatic for a lot of growers to be able to grow that and be able to have another cash crop on their farm as well. And this was just a fun one that came out this week. This is in Tennessee. Free the Plant Tour, Saturday, October the 9th from 4 until 9 p.m. It's a $10 ticket donation. Veterans and kids are free. And it is at Hot Springs Beer Park, 679 John Bragg Highway in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So if you're traveling down that way October 9th, or if you're Tennessee guys, this might be a really fun night to be able to do that. So it's put on by the Tennessee Growers Coalition. And unfortunately, we're not going to have Mike Brennan on the show today. They've had a little power outage problem down there, so we won't be able to get the 420 news, but he'll have, I'm sure, great information for us in the future for that. So Dave, that's about what I got. I think we need to get Jeff on the show because he's got a lot of great information to share.
Yes, let's Jeff's no stranger to the iHemp Hour. It's not his first rodeo. US Hemp Brokerage. What's going on, Jeff?
Man, it is good to be here. It's been all of 3 weeks that we've actually seen each other now.
Has it been?
Yeah, it's been, I can't believe it. I have Dave Crable withdrawals for sure. Blaine, I could take her leave. Becky, definitely, she's a big deal in my world. So, you're all backseat to her. So, but it was really good seeing you guys out in Raleigh at the Southern Hemp Expo, and I'm very grateful as always to be here. I always love being on the iHemp Hour. It's my favorite weekly hour, in terms of any sort of media that I consume. You guys are pretty funny.
We try and have fun with it and keep pushing the Boulder forward. So. Marketing.
I'm liking the new look there with the beard. That looks all right.
Well, so I may as well jump right into this, unless you wanted to go into something else there.
Go, man.
It's kind of an issue for me. We're going to have to talk about it. But first, I wanted to pull up my amazing new hemp wood one hitter. Check that baby out.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Made of hemp wood. Can you believe that?
Sweet.
I would fire this up, but it's too early in the day. As Blaine knows, our afternoons start here around 11 o'clock. So I'm a little early for that one. But then before I can get further into this, I'm going to have to pour myself, a 6-time distilled highway vodka coffee drink. Oh, it's empty. Sorry.
It's empty.
Yeah. All highway vodka bottles ought to be. So, no, in reality, the new look here that's going on is that we are doing, in partnership with iHemp Manufacturing, with Mr. Tony Solano, we're doing a. Okay. Well, we'll wait till Jeff comes back and we can do it.
Talk about a cliffhanger. Holy cow. What is going on with iHemp Manufacturing? We need to know.
Not even fair to do that. So, yeah.
We're coming out with a beard comb is where he's heading with that. So, but I won't steal his thunder. So,
okay.
I guess we had some challenges with the website too. It's been one of those days, Blaine.
Well,
and the site's back up now.
My astronautical, what do I want to say here? My advisor for astronautical things.
Is Mercury in retrograde? That's usually when I cringe. I hear that.
Yes.
Very, very bad. And so when?
Yeah, it's safe until I wouldn't do anything crazy until the end of October.
Oh, so the end of October, Dave, we're gonna have to.
Is it the Mercury thing?
Yeah.
It's Mercury retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
You know, I've heard of that before, and I've
Yeah.
experienced it.
Communications and all that fun stuff going on.
Blade,
Yeah.
I'm Blade's astrological guide.
There we go. Astrological guide. I knew I could come up with.
Thank you, Hepworth. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, I mean, Reagan had one, right? So, or at least Nancy had one. So,
Nancy had one, right?
yeah. So
Well, let me tell you.
we need to go by that advice more often, probably.
Well, the proof's in the pudding, especially with the website down and now Jeff's MIA.
Mhm. So let's talk a little bit about who we're going to have at the expo. That'll be a good thing to talk about. So we're planning a great lineup of speakers for that. Again, a great educational is going to come out of that. We're going to have Jeff Stewart from HGI.
he's with
Genetic
HGI,
International.
right?
Yep, he'll be talking about the grain and where that's going to come from. We'll also be having, hey, Jeff's back.
Oh, Jeff's back.
We'll also have James D.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I apologize. I don't know what happened. We have some technical difficulty, but you can't get past Jeff Cole too far past me anyway on that.
Well,
So,
we just had this. We consulted the stars, and Mercury's in retrograde, so that's what's going on.
Till the end of October, Jeff, so just be careful.
Are you on your phone, Jeff?
I am on my phone at this time.
Go ahead and turn it sideways. There you go.
There we go.
Much better. Thank you.
Apparently that router is back up now. Yeah, we have had some issues in our building. You know, we were in this new, really cool space. Actually, we recorded an iHemp hour from this space, but it's a fortified building, so to speak. So we have had a couple of issues here lately. But nevertheless, where was I? I think I was talking about the beard, the mustache, yeah, and all that stuff. Yeah. So I can't get past this itchy phase. So a company that we've recently acquired a minor interest in is a Hawaiian hemp company, and they have 100% Hawaiian ingredients. And she sent some to me that she thinks will help me through the itchy phase. And I got to tell you, I'm now 12 days into this, no itchy, nothing.
Nice.
So
No
it's
itchy.
working perfectly, and I can't wait, to really to launch that product for sure. So
Excellent.
yeah. So that's what's going on here, guys.
Okay.
So,
Well,
and we're talking about a comb that you're coming out with, perhaps?
Yeah, we're doing a hemp plastic beard and mustache comb, and it's actually in the shape of a mustache. And then we're bundling that, of course, with the beard salve and wax. Tony I'm sure Tony's been on the show. If he hasn't, you probably want to get him on. But he's been growing a beard, and he's doing the whole twist thing, and he's probably more excited about this product than anybody.
Tony does get excited.
He's
That's
a very
a good-
excitable person.
He is. He likes to get excited. So,
Love it.
US Hemp Brokerage, you're building your portfolio of clients. You're doing some marketing, launching some brands. How's that going in the hemp space? Is it getting any easier?
There's nothing easy about the hemp space. There really isn't. Our company, the US Hemp Brokerage, really, we're doing what most people in the industry think is like the hardest job in the industry. And it's really selling hemp product. So, it's, I don't know if you guys know the magazine, Mother Jones magazine, but
Sure.
the former publisher of Mother Jones is a guy named Jay Harris. Jay Harris is a very old friend of mine, and I used to represent Mother Jones when I was in the New York media business. I was like the New York guy for Mother Jones. And Jay Harris one time told me, he said, Jeff, we all are kind of like in awe of your company and the people who sell in your company, because, it's a bloody battle every single day. And I'll tell you, it's true. And that definitely applies to the hemp space. And I hate to be like kind of grotesque about that, but the reality is that it really is a bloody battle every day. It's a matter of having a good solid plan that you're working, and then making the adjustments. And it seems like every adjustment that you make, there's always 5 or 6 additional adjustments. So for those of us who've been in hemp for a while, it echoes, I'm sure, and resonates that it's a bloody battle every day. how's it going for you guys in Michigan? I know that you guys have trimmed down some of your acreage this year, and that report from Molly was pretty kind of eye-opening. What do you guys think is going on there, and how does that relate to like the rest of the country?
So, I think with CBD, until we get this market figured out a little bit and we're able to utilize that supply in other uses with FDA approval, because it's being used already, right? It's just happening. I think when that happens, I think we'll be able to use up that, and I think we'll be able to find a balance in that market. What I'm really excited about is the fiber and the grain side coming on. I think that's going to be that is a huge market right now. I'm able to make hemp bedding, and then some of that material also goes to plastics. So that's coming out big times. I mean, I feel like I'm about a step away from actually being able to make some contracts for farmers next year.
Right.
Grow the fiber.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so I think we're moving to that area. Again, I'm pretty excited about things. I know it's hard sometimes to move forward with things when you're not sure what's going on and all the other regulation needs to happen. But we're excited for that. So yeah, I'm excited.
As well, you should be. I mean, from all of our work in the industry, and as you guys know, and I think, some people who probably view your show are familiar with the US Hemp Brokerage and all the work that we do. We have 4 different divisions, and while we do spend a huge amount of time on our cannabinoid brands, the other divisions are materials of all kinds that are non-cannabinoid materials, and then machinery, and also technology. So in all of our divisions, we're very active right now. We're actively populating brands within each division, and it's pretty darn exciting. And it's mostly centered around fiber and grain. That's really where that is. I know from a sort of a market forecast perspective, I think 2022 is definitely the year for fiber and grain, but 2023 is really going to be when the serious commercial applications are going to be achieving sell-through. It's exciting. We've all been working so hard in this industry to get to this point where it's not just cannabinoids. It's not, chasing health or chasing a buzz in cannabis. It's the true commercial applications of the industrial hemp plant. And
we start building with it, and
it's just so cool.
The bedding's a big application, the food.
For sure. For sure.
The hempcrete is coming on, the US Hemp builders, with what they're doing. We're working
the US Hemp Building Association. Yeah. Jacob Waddell, by the way, is doing he's doing a fantastic job as the president over there. I mean, they have made so much progress. I'm really impressed with that group.
They just had their recent little webinar thing that they were doing, and they're doing a little fundraiser right now. I'll see if I can bring that up for the end of the show to talk about it. But they're right now, they got a challenge grant basically. So your $1 will actually turn into $3 is what'll happen.
Oh, wow.
So they can raise a little bit of money, because we've got to get the codes right up to good, so everybody can build with the product and do this. We've got a project going on here with a local girl. We're calling it Jesse's Castle. She has a disease where she's allergic to about everything in the world, and so we're planning to build a hemp house, basically, as much as we can out of hemp and other related materials that are non-allergenic kind of things for her. So we're really excited to move forward with that project. We're hoping to be able to start that project next year for her. So
sure.
That's going to be a fun one to work on too. So
that's excellent. That's excellent. I'd like to hear more about that project offline, because I'm interested in supporting it.
Okay.
There is a group that we've become, really early supporters of, and that group is the Hero Project, which is a Michigan project, and we're participants and sponsors of that project, and there's so much good that can come out of industrial hemp, And it really can come, that good can come from any aspect of the hemp industry. You can just do so much. It's like, building materials that are more sustainable, at some point, those
And
prices
healthier.
are going to come down. And as those prices come down, we're going to see real application in affordable housing and things like that. We're really in the shift right now, aren't we? We're in the shift from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more modernized bio-based economy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And that's kind of what we're in the midst of right now.
I thought it was when Sergey spoke at NOCO in March, out in Denver. He really blew me away when he talked about building with our current building, and especially if we work with a lot of cement, it's highly acidic, where, if you build, you have insulation with the hempcrete, you have a neutral environment for humidity. It's passive. It's just such a healthier environment. You don't have the mold, the mildew that you do with the cement construction. You don't have that acidic environment. So I think as people get educated about this, you'll see more adoption.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. We're focusing a huge amount of effort on developing out our other divisions for all these reasons, for sure.
Yeah.
So Blaine, I'm glad that you brought up the Neogen product. That is a product. It's a handheld machine that does the testing, right, the potency testing right in the field, or if you're inside in an indoor grow, and it can be really, really helpful. That's a pretty amazing machine. Do you know any farmers who have used that yet in the field,
Yeah.
Blaine?
I have.
Yeah.
Jen Nelson has worked with that with a few farmers this year. And what's real interesting is they're actually having their MDART test done this week based on what the testing was coming up to, and saying, oh, we're getting pretty close, we better get it tested. So I've known a few farmers that have used it that way. The nice thing is too, even for the indoor grows, right? Because they'll be doing that throughout the year. For them to be able to test and make sure where they're at, to make sure they don't go hot. Because again, there's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy that's spent on this stuff, and you hate to get to the end of that and all of a sudden, boom, you're hot, and now what do you do, right? So
Yeah,
I'm going to try to bring up that tester, Jeff.
sounds good.
We're talking.
Sounds good. Part of what I wanted to do today, in this talk, is really just kind of give a little bit more of a national perspective as a sort of a market forecast. We get so many inquiries every day. We get, calls and emails and texts from farmers and processors and brands. And, we get a really good view into what's happening across the country. And then, of course, we do sell product throughout the country. And, we are seeing, a huge uptick in interest in all things hemp. It's pretty wild the way that it's happening. It's like a couple of years back, we had people who were loosely talking about, additional products that we can make out of hemp other than just CBD type products. And now it's actually vibrant. We've got programs and relationships with people who are building products, making products out of things like hemp wood and hemp plastic. We're involved with the group who make the Toker Poker, as an example. The Toker Poker is a case for lighters, and they've sold over 1 million units with, using, sort of petrochemical plastics. And now they're converting to hemp plastics. And, that's just like one little item, but it's an actual finished product that's in production and we're bringing to market, and it's non-cannabinoid. It's so cool, and then I showed you that little one hitter, but that's just kind of a novelty item almost. We're actually involved in programs that are using full scale hempwood, platforms to make hemp furniture. And, our exhibit there at the Southern Hemp Expo made out of hempwood. And it's just so cool. It's so cool to see it all. So I think from a market forecast perspective, CBD, that market is still actually growing. There's been a pretty massive shakeout of brands but the market itself is still growing and measurably, quickly as well. But when you shift to all of the other things, I mean, we've got the most vibrant set of industries, that are kind of on fire right now, with hemp. So I'm encouraging everybody to kind of, stick with what you're doing, do what you do, and make sure that you do it really, really well, and and serve your niche, because, the market is vibrant. And if you're not in it and focusing on where you can really add value, then you probably ought to refocus a little bit, because it's the market to be in, and all aspects of hemp right now are vibrant.
So Jeff, I know you do a lot of stuff with the marketing end, but maybe
For sure.
talk a little bit about what you can provide, your services that you can help people with to get their product into the market, or to market their products.
Yeah, for sure. So, we're a full service brokerage, and we're really the only professional brokerage house in the industry. And we've been serving the market for years and years now. And what we do is we work with, manufacturers, growers, processors, and we sell hemp, and it's basically what we do. So the services that we provide have to be, pretty broad, because you have all kinds of different, you have different size growers, you have different size brands, and we try to help brands and growers to bring their products into the market. So the services that we provide at the US Hemp Brokerage really range dramatically. We get calls from small farmers, for instance, who don't really know what to do with their products after their material after they've grown it. And we give coaching and advice, and we don't typically provide paid services to them, because small farmers have a narrow set of outcomes. So it's easy for us just to give some good advice and help them a little bit. And then, you have larger players that come into a market, and, they've got a checkbook, but they don't have experience in hemp. And so we create brands, like the John Bud brand. I mean, we have this is the one that we've just most recently created. We did a whole set of products. We're bringing that brand into convenience right now, into 1,000 stores. And, so we do retail readiness work and brand building. And then we also do brand management, full-scale brand management. In fact, the John Bud brand is one that we, devised. We came up with the brand ourselves. We did all the art direction, all the logos, all the formulations, everything. We placed the manufacturing at 2 separate manufacturers, because we had 2 distinct sets of products. And then, we received those products and we sell them. And now we're marketing those products all across the country. So it's a pretty broad range of services. I think people think about the US Hemp Brokerage first when they think about private label manufacturing and bringing branded product to market. And that really is, kind of by design. That's how we want people to think about us. That's what we do, for sure. The most exciting part of the business, I have to tell you right now, even with all of the amazing brands, we've got a portfolio of brands that are just incredible. Hold on one. Everything right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Yeah,
Julian wanted to say hi. Hold on.
Yeah,
Julian wanted to say hi.
You walked in now, man. You got to get in there. You got to get on there.
Yep. Say hi,
How are you?
Julian. This is Julian, the US Hemp Brokerage Sales Director. He's an Irishman, so watch out. He may not be trustworthy.
How's it
And
going,
he may
guys?
be carrying a knife. I don't know.
Because I'm from Limerick.
Yeah, Limerick is known as Stab City, and he's from Limerick.
Okay. Good
Yeah,
seeing you.
yeah.
I'll let you know why, guys.
All right.
I love it. Sorry about that, guys. But
No
Julian,
problem.
those of us who know
it's a
Julian
new
know
show.
that he will come insert himself anytime he wants, and that's totally fine with me. So, but back to where I was, the really the most exciting part of the industry for me right now is moving into consumables that are non-cannabinoid at all, cannabinoid related. So, for instance, we have on deck, I mean, as you know, Blaine, because we're working together on this, we're about to rebrand the Hemperor. So this is like the Hemperor sample of hemp seed oil, right? And then this advanced, you guys did a great job. You advanced it up to this. And I can't wait to reveal what we're doing with the Hemperer with the food product. So it's a hemp seed oil, no cannabinoids at all. We're working with totally different buyers. We're going into grocery, into natural grocery stores, into specialty stores. And, there are all over the country, there's been this really big trend toward having boutique spice and olive oil and tea stores, tea shops. So you've got these sort of boutique, a little bit higher culture is what they're trying to go for. That's probably because they don't know Blaine, but really when you get down to it,
that's why we have that space in between. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to elevate here, Blaine. That's what we're trying to do. But no, really, we're doing products that are food products, beverage products. It's exciting to see all the different products that you can make actually starting to get made and sold through into the general consumer market. Here's a little bit of information for you. I don't know if you or your viewers knew, but back in 2013, about 2010, there were a bunch of legal issues around hemp and importing hemp. And the DEA was making a great big stink about hemp products. And, it turned out that, back at that time, the US was still the number one consumer of hemp products and just importing everything. So back then the market size was about $550 to $600 million. Okay. And there were no cannabinoids in the market at all. So there was a big lawsuit. And in fact, the HIA defended the whole thing, and they went out and they sued the DEA and they won. And that was the precedent setting, what you would call the enabling legislation or precedent that enabled that legislation to become enabling legislation. And that really is what propped up and was the foundation for our market. So, in many, many ways, all we're doing is we're just converting here domestically from imported hemp product, and we're just doing it ourselves now. And that's all, kind of what's happening right now. So to be able to take, textiles and papers and not just rolling papers, Dave, by the way, but, paper that we can use in packaging and labels on almost everything. We're able to replace so many different things with hemp, and that we're actually doing it is like, I get up every morning and come into my office, which I spend a lot of money for, but I love it every single day. I love doing this work in this business because it is the most meaningful work. I look around, right? We all do. We're all getting older. We look around at the economy and all the different stuff, and we go, well, maybe all the people who are talking about sustainability weren't just freaks after all, and at the end of the day, sustainability really just means, in its truest form, it just means that we can keep doing what we're doing, right? Yeah. So if we can keep doing what we're doing, but we look around every day and go, man, we can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. But if we replace it or blend in hemp, it becomes more sustainable, and it just makes it, more exciting for us every day. So,
Jeff, when you spoke at our 2020 Expo in Lansing, you had a list you were working on of items, and what to go down. Have you revisited that list recently?
Oh, definitely. I'm glad you bring that up, man, because, that list is called the Hemp Replacement Index. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, I come from a media background where I worked with research all the time. And it was really market research about consumers and products and how you bring product and service to market and always designing products and trying to fit them in, to the right consumer group or business, group, whatever it may be. And when I entered the hemp space, I realized pretty quickly, really through my work with Pure Hemp Technology with Ed Lehrberger and Carl Lehrberger, I realized, wow, like all the things that these people are saying, it's really true. Like you can do 25,000 products. I mean, if you listen to Jack Herer, right, he said 60,000 products. So I literally was just sitting, trying to figure out how to best apply our limited resources for the company and realized, I could rank all the different things that we can make with hemp. I can rank them. We can index them. And so an index is just an average, right? It's a market average. And so if you're replacing a product with hemp, how likely are you to succeed right now, like in time? So should we be doing, we would want to be doing products that rank the highest. So cannabinoids, for instance, if you started to a hemp company and did cannabinoids, any kind of CBD products 5 years ago, your index would have been like a 3,000. So you're like 300 times more likely to succeed if you replace toxic medicine or addictive medicine with non-addictive alternative medicinals using hemp. And like it's a really high index. And back at that time, the index for hemp plastics, as an example, would have been probably around a 150, which means that you're like 5% more likely to succeed if you do that. And it's all a matter of timing. So as you go through time, should we focus our limited time and resources on cannabinoids or food products or plastics or wood or you name it, sugars? Like a lot of people don't know this. The hemp plant has so much sugar in it. It's such in the stalks, like you can convert the sugars from the hemp stalk into really meaningful products. So I'll give you an example. Out at Pure Hemp Technology, we fractionated some of the sugars from the hemp stalk, and we basically isolated the xylose sugar. Now, xylose, from hemp, we then converted to xylitol. So we literally converted xylose to xylitol from hemp, which is incredible because xylose is the healthiest sweetener on the planet, and it's currently unsustainably harvested from the birch tree. So it's like, so what's the index on that one, right? So how likely are we to succeed if we were to convert xylose sugars into xylitol from hemp? And, so that index, that may be a 400 or a 500, but as I've noticed through time, as we go through time and as more and more applications from hemp become feasible, the indices are all over the place. They're like needles bouncing all over the place. Like right now, almost everything in the commercial applications for industrial hemp would have an index that's over a 500, which is like, you're way more likely to be successful today if you're doing almost anything in hemp as opposed to the other way that you can do it. It's the craziest thing. I'm really glad that you brought up the HRI. It's a set of data that we're developing further and really solidifying all the different data points. I'm not yet prepared to announce what we're doing with that, but we are working with a pretty highbrow, company right now who's going to help us actually finally get down the road on the HRI and get all those data points in so that we can actually truly inform the market. And that's a big project for us. So thanks for bringing that up. But that's what the HRI is. Thank you. Yeah, we all need to work smarter, not harder. So it's what it is. It really is. Go after those items. And it's exciting to see. Blaine and I took a tour of a facility this week over in my neighborhood. We're super geeked about, that's going to help us with the animal bedding market. So, oh, that's great. It's a low hanging. Interesting is there biochar, that's really getting to be quite a catchphrase lately. And I've known about it for a number of years. Great product. Yeah. So we're going to be doing some research with them to be able to use different hemp products. One of the things we're looking at using is actually the spent waste from the hemp after they've taken the CBD out of the oil out of it. Post-extracted. That is one of the feedstocks for making the biochar. So now, really? And what's really neat about this particular place we went to is they want to make sure there's a full cycle, right? That it's just not waste that's getting put somewhere else. Yeah, they're going for closed loop sustainability. Correct. Specifically, yes. Yep. So now they can take a product that everybody thinks is a waste product right now, and now we can turn it into a usable, very beneficial product, which then gets put back into the soil. And for people to understand that, it's a soil builder,
It's a soil regenerator is what it is, to make the soil healthy. Once the soil's healthy, everything else works just fine. So,
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that, being able to, again, another stream of farmers to be able to make some income off of that hemp product. So
For
Yeah,
sure.
I thought it was interesting too, Jeff. He's got a aquaponics. Thank you.
Sweet.
And
Sweet.
so he's using the
tilapia.
Tilapia, and so all that tilapia poop, he can amend
Exactly.
biochar as a nutrient.
Sure.
He was explaining some of that. It was really interesting to learn.
It's funny. I was about, I want to say 4 or 5 years. No, it's probably 4, maybe 5 years ago. Memory serves me. Ed Lehrberger and I were doing some work with the gentleman out here who owns Biochar. What's his name? Is it James or something? I forget his name, but in any event, we were out on a farm up between Fort Collins and Loveland, and we were talking about biochar, and that's where I got introduced to biochar. It's an amazing amendment to the soil. I mean, it does so much good, for sure. And you can marry, again, like the tilapia poop, the fish poop, that fish emulsion. It kind of, it absorbs it. So there's like a slower release period. It's pretty interesting to work biochar into a field. You can get some really great results with it for sure. The thing that I wanted to kind of address on that, because Blaine, you mentioned soil, and we're talking about biochar, soil amendment. As we move further into grain and fiber markets, and as we're able to, especially out in your area and within the, in the breadbasket of the U.S., there's been so much farming that has just used so many pesticides. And it's, we have such a terrible problem with, washing off the pesticides into our, massive rivers that then go downstream and end up where? They end up in the Gulf. And we've got this dead zone coming out of New Orleans, out of the mouth of the Mississippi, that's as big as the state of Texas. I mean, Texas is like its own country, and it's really a matter of all of those pesticides for years and years and years, and all that soil erosion that just gets washed out. And the hemp plant, thank goodness that, in the breadbasket of America, the more we grow fiber and grain crops, when you harvest a lot of those fields, you don't harvest it the same way that you would, a CBD crop. You're actually leaving the bottom, the roots, actually that structure in the field. Like you're harvesting it and cutting it off with about 6 to 9 inches still left in the ground. And then you can leave that and it builds that soil up. And hemp is such a great mitigator and sequesterer of all of these toxins, that the impact, the positive impact that grain and fiber crops can make in the breadbasket, especially, and that downstream impact, within 3 years, we would see a massive measurable difference in toxicity just in the Mississippi River and what happens downstream. It's like, if we just keep doing what we're doing and we start moving more and more and more into these crops, especially fiber and grain, then the impacts that we can make overall are like really like the kind of stuff that most people don't even think about. When people think about hemp and getting into hemp these days, most people think about, how can I make money? And I want to just remind everybody that when we convert natural resources, no matter what they are, when we convert natural resources into money, we're leaving almost all the value on the table.
Yeah.
It's the least valuable thing that we can do with our natural resources. So, thanks for giving me a podium to get that out, man, because I really wanted to. So,
yeah, it's true.
We know how much, how good the hemp plant is for carbon sequestration. And there was just some interesting articles that came out this week. One of the companies that's into this is starting to make their first payments to farmers for carbon sequestration plans. And I think we're going to see more and more that if they roll hemp into that mix of plants that they're growing and doing for that, they're going to have a better rate of return for that. So it'll be interesting to see what falls out for sure. So,
Blaine, you may have some insight into this. I've heard a lot over the last couple of years about different governmental grants and things like that that are available. I don't know that they're in the state block grant category in that size of grants yet, but addressing Superfund sites and mitigating Superfund sites using hemp, is a pretty big deal. I've heard of a couple of different sites that are actually utilizing hemp to clean up their Superfund sites. Have you heard much about that? And do you know anything about any sorts of grants or anything? Because there's so many smart people in this industry who want to do work within the industrial hemp space. I think that's a really great area, but I don't know that much about it. I'm wondering if you do.
I can't say that I'm an expert on that area to talking about that, but there certainly are different grants that's coming out. And one thing that's happening, the talk obviously that's going on right now, is with global warming and those kind of things. So there's going to be a bunch of initiatives that will be coming out. The Biden administration wants to do a bunch of stuff. So I suspect down the road that we're going to have some kind of incentive program in one way or another, whether it be through grants or whether it be through some direct payments to combat this global warming that we have going on. So I see that happening very, very soon. Again, it's a hot topic right now. So I think right now the thing is they just want to get through the next 2 weeks and get our budget passed. And then we'll address some other things. So we'll see if that happens or not. But that's one of the
out in the quote unquote breadbasket of America, right? How big a problem, if you were to compare soil erosion with pesticide, infiltration, which do you think is a bigger concern these days for farmers, especially hemp farmers?
For hemp farmers, it would be more of the pesticide, I think, situation than it will be for soil erosion. Erosion we can take care of with different tillage practices, different plant material, waterways, things like that. We can address that. I think what you're going to find, and then this again will come with more testing and everything else, is we know that the plant will absorb, regenerate that soil. So it's uptaking some of those nutrients and stuff. So again, like you said, within a period of a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, we can clean up that soil, right? There's a large project going on up in Michigan that they're talking about right now that the plan is to include hemp growing up there to take a lot of those toxicities out of the soil up there from the previous minings that they've done. It'll be exciting to see where that goes and all that how it comes out.
Yeah, I was curious about that, mainly just because of all the, because of climate change and all the, the flooding that has gone on in the last 5-7 years, just throughout our farmlands has been really damaging. It's been very difficult, for so many farmers to work with. So thank you. I know your expertise it's helped me quite a lot, Blaine. You've given me really great insight over the last few years knowing you, So
Jeff, we just have a few more minutes before the hemper is going to share his recipe. Anything else you want to share about US Hemp Brokerage before we?
Well, I think that, just very briefly, I'll say that, we have big things on the horizon. Please look at, the US Hemp Brokerage website now and look at it again in a couple of weeks because we're totally redoing our website. We're, converting technologically within our office. We're doing some major upgrades. Our whole objective with the US Hemp Brokerage is to be able to get as close to transactions as possible and to be able to predict some transactions. We're going to have a lot of announcements in January at the conference in Lansing with you guys. And just thank you for the support and keep rooting us on. We need all the rooting on that we can get.
So Jeff, the best way to find you would be just type in US Hemp Brokerage.
Easiest way. .com, ushempbrokerage.com. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a phone number you want to share in case people want to give you a call?
Absolutely. Yeah. Please, by all means, feel free to call me on my cell phone at 720-419-5600. 4234. And I'd love to hear from any of you for sure.
Well, I know you got a great staff there. It was a fun meeting everybody and playing with everybody in Raleigh. And of course, when I was out there before too. So
yeah, that was a good time.
To help people out. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for the recipe.
What's that?
I'm ready for the Emperor's recipe.
Yeah, well, we're getting to that real quickly. Here we go. Yeah. So again, I like
banana smoothie.
Kind of simple and easy. So we'll put the hat on here. Dave, anything else you want to share?
No, look for emails, updates on details for our hemp working event, October 16th. We're looking forward to seeing everyone. And
yeah. Now then this weekend, for all of our Illinois listeners and friends down there, I'll be there at Saturday at I'm trying to remember the golf course name now. In Princeton, Illinois, is Chapel Hill Golf Course is where they're going to be holding that. It also has, for those that are disc golf fans, they not only have the golf course, but they have the disc golf also there. So they're going to have a little tournament going on that day. So it'll be fun networking with everybody down there. Look forward to doing that. So that's on Saturday from 9 until 4 is when that runs. So
they're going to be throwing around some hemp frisbees.
I think so. I'm going to be taking some of mine down. Yeah.
Yep, I'm heading this afternoon. I'm heading up to Soaring Eagle Casino for the Cannabis Law Convention that's going on right now. We're speaking tomorrow. I'm on right after Andrew Bisbo, the MRA, Marijuana Regulatory Agency, and I've got a couple hemp backpacks with all kinds of goodies. We're going to blow a bunch of cannabis lawyers' minds because I don't think people don't know what all we can do now. You know, so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun.
So again, I want to thank all of our sponsors that have helped us put on the show this past month and be able to get out to some of the other events. Lakeland Hemp, again, that's going to be the 16th. We're going to be meeting with them. They're going to have a great story when they come on next week. Yeah, we have Dennis next week. They've been able to actually vertically integrate themselves with the acres they have there, and they do online sales of their products. And so again, just a great story of somebody that's been able to capitalize on the hemp market and been able to make it work with just doing online sales. Again, Veritas Labs, want to thank them. iHemp Manufacturing, Neogen, US Hemp Brokerage, or US Hemp Wholesale, made by Hemp, the Emperor, Scott Colville, Crop Insurance, Adams Independent Testing, and of course one of our great sponsors and our great friend Jeff with US Hemp Brokerage. So we appreciate all their fine support. So thank you very much. All right, so let's get into this week's simple, easy recipe here. So it's the banana smoothie. Feel the power to heal yourself. So again, this is a prep time of 5 minutes. So it's a total 5-minute time, and so it's easy peasy for sure. So the ingredients here we go are plant-based milk. Well, one of the things you can do, because I know Dave makes this, Dave, you can make hemp milk. So
look, I had some this morning. Love it.
There you go. So the cocoa powder, sugar-free, take 2 tablespoons of that, 2 tablespoons of hemp seed, 4 dates, medium banana, they say frozen here, and 2 tablespoons of organic peanut butter, half a cup of broccoli sprouts, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and a handful of ice. That's optional, but if you use the frozen banana, that'll help, make that a great smoothie. So easy peasy to do, really healthy for you. I don't know if this just give us the nutritional content anywhere. It probably doesn't.
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So, but a wonderful, easy peasy recipe. And of course, you can make that with other stuff too. You can put strawberries in it or other things, but this particular one has the banana in it. So we have a bunch of recipes on the site. You can look out right there, and that says hemp recipes for all the recipes that we've had on there. And I want to give credit to where credit is due, because this was done by Nicole, who was an RDN, and this was published last year, but that's Nicole Russett. That's who put that out. Trinity is her name on there, but Nicole Russett is the one that we want to credit with this recipe. So,
Okay.
So we thank you all very much for joining the show today. Jeff, thank you. Great information as always. We're going to look forward to seeing you in January. Again, that early bird ends September 30th. So make sure you get in and get your booth and or get your tickets for that. And next week, we're going to have Lakeland Hemp, Dennis, Barb, and Eric are the three that'll be on to share their story. So we have a great time next week. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you all next week.
All right. Peace and love.